the gods of physics was produced by two expeditionary British astronomers in 1919. The scientists took photographs of the sun during a solar eclipse. Within the darkness, as the moon shields the sun, stars near the sun are visible. But Einstein believed that some stars behind the sun would also be visible. He predicted their light would be curved by the sun's immense gravity around the sun, and therefore be visible to us beyond its edge.
He actually calculated by what amount it would curve, and in 1919, British astronomers went to see a solar eclipse and verified precisely that his prediction was correct, and Einstein became a household name overnight.
Since gravity bends space, the aliens might be utilizing that phenomenon to jet across the galaxy. This device appears to be a warp drive.
If you could manipulate space, you could expand space behind you and contract it in front of you, and you could build what you might call a warp drive, if you wish, which in some sense is warping space by manipulating it in front and behind you, and in so doing, travel from one place to another, apparently faster than the speed of light.
By constricting space-time in front of the vehicle, while expanding space-time behind, the alien ship can be propelled like a bullet exiting a rifle.
And even better, the clocks inside would run at the same rate as the clocks outside. This is probably one of the most surprising and puzzling things, but it would live in a pocket of ordinary space which wouldn't feel the relativistic effects of its huge velocity.
Having successfully hacked into the alien computer system, our engineers are learning a lot about the function of the ship. Next to the warp drive is an even more sophisticated device. It too allows for faster-than-light travel, relatively speaking. A wormhole generator, capable of folding space itself.
Think of Alice's looking glass. The looking glass was in some sense a shortcut, a subway system, a tunnel through the fabric of space and time. That is a wormhole.
Let's imagine a map of the Earth. Mark A represents New York City. Mark B represents Paris. If we fold the map, they're actually not very far away. Now all we need to do is punch a hole through the map to connect both cities. Voila, the opening is like a wormhole.
In 1935, Einstein came out with the first paper on wormholes. We call them Einstein-Rosen bridges. We don't really call them wormholes. But these Einstein-Rosen bridges really do take you from one stage to another. A gateway.
Einstein's theory allowed for the possibility of wormholes. Quantum physics suggests they may occur spontaneously.
Einstein's equations, we now know, are littered with wormholes. It's impossible to look at Einstein's equations without finding a wormhole here or there. They're everywhere. The problem is, how stable are they?
Luckily, the wormhole generator also has a stabilizer. That means the aliens can prop open a wormhole and keep it open until the ship passes through. Problem solved. Understanding this alien ship has been a real challenge. We've had to push our knowledge of physics and quantum mechanics to its limit in order to comprehend what our alien visitors have achieved. But we've been able to work out quite a bit. Like how it defies gravity and inertia, and how it can sidestep the speed of light to cross the universe. The next challenge is turning this insight into our own real machines that can travel through space and time. To meet the aliens on their turf, not as students or subjects, but as equals. What you're about to see is an exercise in imagination. We've been studying an alien flying saucer. Here inside our top-secret hangar, we've examined the advanced technology that built it. Now we'll go inside to discover what optional extras are included on this model. an antimatter reactor, teletransporter, laser weapons. With the help of leading physicists, astronomers, and engineers, we'll learn about its power plant, its weaponry, and most importantly, its mission. And maybe in the process, we'll learn something about ourselves through alien engineering. This is an alien spacecraft that crashed in the desert some years ago. We recovered it. Now our goal is to discover how it works. We've been studying it for some time. Now we'll go on a remote video tour inside the craft. Our robotic camera is providing a remote video feed from the spacecraft, housed at Hangar 18. As you can see, this is something extraordinary. This is your first peek inside this alien vessel. Clearly, this is the main gallery, but it's not safe for humans to go inside yet. We believe this is the sick bay. This is the facility. Even aliens need one of those. Here are the control panels. This is where they operate the ship. We've hacked into their computer system, and we've learned a lot. Also, no joystick. We think they control it telekinetically. Below deck is an antimatter reactor. It's a complex piece of machinery, rather difficult to explain in lay terms. Camera off. So that's what's inside an alien ship. An antimatter reactor that can produce short bursts of intense energy to run powerful machinery, like wormhole generators and warp drives. And it runs on antimatter, the highest octane fuel in the universe.
If you had 1 ounce of antimatter and you could annihilate it with 1 ounce of ordinary matter, it would give you an amount of energy equivalent to 1 million tons of rocket fuel.
Antimatter sounds like science fiction, but it's real, and we humans are making it right here on Earth. Actually, below Earth, at the US government lab outside Chicago, 30 feet below ground, is a giant enclosed ring 4 miles in circumference. Here at Fermilab, the building blocks of the universe are being transformed into something fantastic.
Fermilab's mission is to do high-energy physics research. And high-energy physics research is trying to understand the forces of nature at the smallest distance scales. To see and investigate small distance scales, you have to have very high energy.
Why? Because the subatomic particles have to go fast. Very fast. Fermilab operates one of the world's highest energy particle accelerators, called the Tevatron. Here, scientists make particles of antimatter.
Back in 1928, Paul Dirac determined that we have matter, like protons, neutrons, electrons, and the things that they make up, and particles which have the same behavior, but their charge is opposite. And the term that was come up with was antimatter.
Protons have antimatter counterparts called antiprotons, identical in mass, but opposite in charge. Electrons have anti-electrons called positrons. Antiparticles can combine to create anti-elements such as anti-hydrogen. Theoretically, any element can have an anti-element counterpart.
In 1932, Carl Anderson was the first person to detect the existence of anti-electrons or positrons from cosmic rays. And then many years later, in 1955, Emilio Segre and his collaborators at the Lawrence Berkeley Laboratory in California